Hi, welcome back. Today I've come back over to the plot because I want to pot on all of the tomato plants that I sowed up in the previous video. They've got a little bit leggy as I thought they would, but it's not a problem. I can show you a way we can get around that. Since that video as well, I've invested in some grow lights and they've really brought these tomatoes on. So let's head off into the shed and we'll have a look. Okay then, so what we're going to do is we're going to pot on these tomato plants. They're not too bad, they are a bit leggy to be fair, but you know, a lot of these ones in here are just absolutely right, but these ones maybe, yeah. Anyway, let's do this. So what I've got here is about a third of worm casts, loads and loads of nutrition in that, really good. And this stuff is just your standard Verve garden compost. I think this comes from B&Q actually. So there's about a third of that, 2/3 of that. I'm going to mix it together. And then to that, when it's mixed, we'll add something else. Don't know if any of you guys have been able to get out in your gardens, but over here in the UK, it's been wet, really wet. The ground's sort of just starting to dry out, so I'm hoping the next time I get some time off to get up here and get digging and turn it over. But at the moment, it doesn't look very good. Okay, nearly there. So yeah, I recently bought this grow light and grow tent. I was actually watching Aaron from Aaron's allotment, and he invested in one, and I thought actually that's not a bad idea because it does give you a bit of a head start. And someone else mentioned that you can possibly get like a second sowing, so do an early crop, get it going. I mean, I'm quite lucky, I've got some heaters, I've got some big polytunnels, so I've got scope to do these sort of things. But it is only the end of January, so if you haven't, you know, done this yet, don't panic, because you can sow tomato seeds right up March, April, it doesn't really matter. So next thing I want, just going to get a little bit of perlite in there, not a lot, don't need a lot. That'll do. We'll mix that in as well. That's looking lovely. Beautiful. Right. So I've got these pots here that I've cleaned out. They're about a 3-inch pot, I suppose, 3.5, maybe 4 inches across. I haven't got my tape measure, I can't tell you. I'm going to be using these. So the first thing I want to do is try and prize out these tomato plants. And the first row, this first row of 4 here, is a variety called Mortgage Lifter. Now, whatever you do, do not pull the stem. Just give it a little squeeze underneath and it'll come out just like that. Alright, always hold it by the leaves and never by the stem. So there's my first 2 plants. I can just gently prise those apart. Leave one up there. Get some more out. Beautiful green colour. Grow lights have really done well. Now, I've got quite a lot of tomatoes here, and I'm not going to be using all of them. But what I will do is we have a little summer fair. So So I'll probably donate some to the summer fair, and that puts a little bit of some money back into the allotments. Allows us to buy little things that we need for the year. And I'll probably give quite a few away to some friends as well. Right, so what I'm going to do then, I'm going to look at these. So take this one here as the longest one. So even when that's right down in the bottom of the pot, which is where I'm going to put it, I'm going to aim to get the soil up to just underneath these two first primary leaves, because all of that stem will all turn to roots. It will throw roots out from that stem, and that will actually increase the root structure of the overall plant. So I'm just going to put a little bit in the bottom, not a lot, like so. Firm that down. I'm going to pop that in there. Firm it down. They're like your little babies, aren't they, tomato plants? I don't know if any of you lot feel the same, but I don't know. I think they're the one that most people get excited about, because, you know, they just keep on giving through the year. So there you go. There's my first one done. Not too worried about all that. Very important, label it, because if you don't, you'll forget. I guarantee it. And there's the first one done. Right, I'll just do another. A little bit in the bottom. So some of these shorter ones, obviously you put more soil in the bottom, because that's where you want it to be. You want that soil just underneath those first two primary leaves. So we'll pick this one up, pop it in there. Okay. And that's how you want it. Like that. Okay then. Well, that's all for now on this one. I'm going to go and continue to pot up all of those, and then all of these will be going back to the house, back into the grow tent, where I can bring them on a bit more. Eventually what will happen is from there, I won't pot them on again. With these pots at this size, I can go straight into the polytunnel, straight into the ground, into the final growing position. And that's what I did last year. It worked absolutely lovely. So when they're about ready, they'll go into the polytunnel. I've got a couple of the kerosene heaters in there, and that keeps it a lovely temperature. And off they go, and hopefully I shall get quite an early crop. I'm planning on doing a second sowing of probably the beef steak varieties, because I found that those were the ones that matured quicker last year, and they sort of run out of steam fairly early on in the season. I had a massive crop off them, don't get me wrong, but if I can do a second sowing, I'm hoping that once this first wave of tomatoes is sort of exhausted, as it's coming to the end, I should be able to just put one or two new refreshed plants in amongst them to just extend that on. Well, anyway, that's it for now. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye for me.